Hello there techies and welcome to my channel. In today's video, we will take a look at how can we take an advantage of batching in PNP PowerShell so that we get a speed while we are inserting, updating or deleting list items in SharePoint. So let's get started. Okay, so I have one CSV file wherein you can see I have a title, first name, last name and city, and I have about 100 rows in this CSV file. What we're going to be doing is I have a PowerShell that will read the CSV file and insert these into the SharePoint list. Let me show you the SharePoint list as well. So here's the sales team site and a sales contact, and I have similar title, first name, last name and city. Let me show you the PowerShell that I have already written and let me walk you through that PowerShell also. Here's the PowerShell. All we are doing is first importing the PNP PowerShell module, then we are connecting with the sales site which we just saw. Then we are reading this CSV file and importing it into the variable. We are counting how many rows we are looking at in the file. Then what we are doing is we are now getting the current time before we start adding the items. Okay, so we get the current time. Then we write down the time on the console so that we get to know. Then we are iterating through each and every line item. Then I am forming a variable so that I can insert this into the SharePoint list. Similar, just like the field and the value coming in from the CSV file, and simply we are adding the list item using add PNP list item into the sales contact and passing on the value. Once the entire iterations are done, I am again getting the date and time, storing it to the end time and then mentioning this time as well, and then I'm using a new time span just to calculate the time difference between the start and the end, which we will get, and then I'm printing simply how many minutes and second it took. Okay, that's a simple example. So let me pull this little up so that you can see the time it's taking. So now let's go ahead and hit run. Now it is starting connecting and it will start adding the items one by one. As you can see, started processing. We are looking at 100 items and it has started adding the items. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to fast forward this video so that you don't really have to wait till all the 100 items get loaded. But I'm going to go and wait for it to finish and then I'll come back. Alright, so it has taken 2 minutes and 48 seconds. Okay, so let's go and validate the items have successfully been inserted. Let's go to site contents. And we can see sales contacts 100. Okay, if we go to the sales contacts, and there we have it. We have all the 100 records successfully inserted. Okay, so now let's do one thing. Let's delete all these records. Let's deleting 100 items and deleted. Now actually it's not fully deleted. If you go to site contents and if you go to the sales contacts, you would see 97. If you refresh, you would see 93. So SharePoint takes a while to delete all these items. Okay, so let's wait for that to go to 0. By the time it reaches to 0, let's go and start updating our PNP PowerShell script. Now we need to make one change here, and that is where we are introducing a batch. So what we want to do is let's define one batch, new PNP batch. Okay, that's what we are doing. Then what we want to do is we want to add all of these items into the batch. So we will say -batch and then define this batch variable. Okay, and after this what we're going to be doing is we will simply be invoking this batch. So invoke PNP batch, then -batch, and then simply provide the batch variable. That's it. These are the simple changes which we need to make. Let's first wait for our list to get empty and then we'll come back and execute this. Okay, still 45. Let's wait for this to go down to 0. Okay, so now the sales contact is 0. That means the list is completely empty. Alright, now we are good to go and execute our updated scripts. Let me clear this for a while. Okay, let's go and execute this. It has started the batch processing. And that's it. It has just taken 7 seconds. So let's go and validate our list. Let's hit refresh. And you can see now the sales contact has 100 items successfully inserted. There we go. You can see a drastic change when you go with the batch or if you go without batch. You can use the batching also while you are updating or deleting an items from the list. So I hope this simple example helped you to understand how batching in PNP PowerShell really helps and accelerate time inserting, deleting or updating the items. Thank you so much for watching the video.